Our chronological Bible reading for August 25th is Lamentations chapters 1, 2, and the first 36 verses of chapter. Jeremiah, in writing this, personifies Jerusalem and describes her emotions. Then he mirrors the same things and talks about how he personally is feeling. Some of us, maybe, who had been prophesying to a people who refused to repent, might actually rejoice when they got what they deserved. But a true prophet of God has the heart of God. That's what a prophet does. And it's out of compassion that what is on the Father's heart comes forth. Jeremiah didn't want to see the people perish. He didn't want to see Jerusalem burned. He didn't want to see his people, the Jewish people, sent off to be captives in Babylon. But it had to happen because the people refused to repent, and God is a God of his word. When he says something, he means it. And the one who was sent off to Babylon was the surviving remnant who obeyed God, and they realized that they deserved it. Verse 18, the afflicted one admits, Yahweh is just. I have rebelled against his command. And then this one who is suffering the discipline of God says, listen, everybody, I deserved this. Make sure that you are walking in obedience with the God of the universe. And then this one speaking says, God, look at our affliction. Look at how bad it is. My heart is broken, and it's because of my own rebellion. This shows us that our actions have consequences. It doesn't mean that God is angry and distant when we mess up, but when we're obstinate, when he tries to warn us over and over again, and we refuse to repent of the sin that we know we are harboring, there comes a time when God allows us to reap the consequences of our own actions. It's not as if these people didn't have spiritual oversight. Chapter 2, verse 14 says, your prophets saw visions for you that were empty and deceptive. But that does not mean that you are innocent. This shows us that it's important that every single one of us hear from God directly ourselves. We need to be able to tell if someone's lying to us, telling us what it is we want to hear. If there's a teacher, a preacher, a minister, or a leader of a ministry that is telling lies from the pulpit or leaving out portions of the truth to make their message sound better or be more appealing, they will face judgment for that. But so will the people who listen. And this shows us how important it is that we all take responsibility for our own expression of faith in God. Jesus never said, go to church and believe everything they tell you. Jesus never said, read Christian books and apply everything you read. Jesus did say, my sheep know me. They hear my voice and they follow me. We as the people of God need to realize it's fundamental that we as the people of God understand that Jesus is our great shepherd. And we are all walking this road together. We all have different gifts, and we should all be doing our best to develop those gifts. If you hear me say something that's wrong, you owe it to me to correct me. I am your brother. This is why we are so passionate about meeting together daily with other believers, or as close to daily as possible. This is why we have started a church movement online through Zoom where we meet 5 days a week. And if you would like to join us, go to BibleInOrder.com to get that Zoom link. Yes, some people will be teachers, and some people will really flow in the gift of hospitality. Some will have gifts of service, some administration. And the bottom line is we must all be flowing in our gifts, using our gifts for the betterment of those around us. If the Judeans had been doing this, they would have never gone off into captivity in Babylon because they would have been tuned in to the heart of God. In chapter 3, Jeremiah becomes depressed. He's so focused on the terrible things that are taking place in Jerusalem and to the people of Judah. But then he catches himself and says, yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope, in verse 21. Because of Yahweh's faithful love, we do not perish. For his mercies never end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness, Yahweh. Jeremiah was known as the weeping prophet, and he must have felt so alone so much of the time, and it shouldn't have been that way. Jeremiah would have needed and benefited so much from having a friend, a peer, somebody who was as tuned in to listening to God as Jeremiah was, somebody who was as devoted to using their gift as Jeremiah was using his. Many Christians today are very lonely. They feel like Jeremiah, like they're the only one, but it should not be that way. And for us to overcome, we need to follow the biblical model. Jesus had 3 of his disciples who were the closest, and then there were the 12, and from there the 70, and together they changed the world. We should be seeking relationships with other believers. We should have a friend that sticks closer than a brother. We should have a small core group of people that we meet with regularly. We should be part of something greater, and that way, when one of us falls, the others will lift that one up. Something to think about. Please do go to BibleInOrder.com, get the Zoom link for our daily prayer calls, and if the time that we're meeting doesn't work well for you, request a new time. We're always willing to make new things happen, or just start your own group. And if you'd like to have a conversation about how to do that, I would be honored, and I'm working on a course for people just like you right now. God bless you. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow.